Hi everyone, how you doing? This week I'm going to show you a really important art technique that is one of the best skills that I have ever learned as an artist to improve my drawing skills and give me an understanding about shading from light to dark. I have done thousands and thousands of drawings using this technique, which is called cross-hatching, and it is a technique we can use with either pencil. It's really great with a pen or a fine liner. And it's a simple technique of using lots of lines to build up areas from light to dark. And I'm going to show you how it's done. Now to do this, we're going to use three basic shapes, which is a sphere, a cone, and a cylinder, which are shapes from everyday life. And if we learn how to shade these simple shapes, we can then go on to create all sorts of different objects and make them look realistic and three-dimensional. Okay, now this is a skill that lots of people don't get right from the start. It can be a little bit tricky to start with, but with some practice and some patience, it is also a skill you can learn very quickly and get good at very quickly. So give it a go, stick with it, keep practicing and trying, and I'm sure you'll have lots of success. So let's get started. I'll show you how it's done. Okay, to do cross-hatching, which is a special shading technique that builds up lots and lots of lines to create a light and dark effect. So this works particularly well with curved surfaces. So we're going to start with a simple curved surface, which is of course a circle. We're going to turn a circle into a sphere using a cross-hatching technique of lots and lots of lines. Now for this you can use either a pen, if you've got a fine liner, that's pretty cool, or you can just use a simple, like a ballpoint pen. But I'll use a ballpoint pen today because that's what most people sort of have at home. So before I start though, just with a pencil, we're just going to work out, get the curve right. A lot of people make this mistake of sort of drawing a line through the middle to get a light and dark, but we don't want that. We want a curved effect. So we're just going to create a curve, or like a moon shape, or even thinking of it as a smaller circle inside this circle here, just to get that curved shape like this. Okay, now using my pen, I'm now going to create a whole series of lines, although first you may want to just trace around your circle. Okay, now we're considering here also, I forgot to mention that we've got to remember that there is a light source coming. So imagine, like the sun is here, or a light shining this direction. That means this side is going to be lighter and this side is going to be darker, or in the shadow. And in fact, I'll even have a shadow underneath this, which would be a long shape I'll put at the end. So to create this, I'm going to start with a series of lines that all run in the same direction. Just very lightly, I'm going to build this up like this. Okay, now nice and light, keep them nice and close, and trying not to keep out of my circle. We want to keep this nice and neat. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to come from another direction, and I'm going to go slightly closer in on the circle. I'll show you. Okay, now I'm going to do the same, but this time I've already gone diagonal. This time I'm going to come horizontally through like this. Again, just getting that little bit closer into the middle and trying to keep that curved shape. Don't lose that curve. Okay, I'm going to come from this way now, up and down. Okay, I'm going to come from some different angles now. Let's go this way. And this side. Okay, and now you can start just working it through and just keep building it up until you're happy with this light and dark effect. I guess on average I'd probably create about maybe 10, 12 sets of lines. So what we're going for here is this sort of gradual build-up of light, hopefully light to dark. Okay, now, when you're sort of happy with your light to dark, don't forget to put a long shadow. Don't do like a big circle, that wouldn't make sense. So just a long sort of shape that comes right from the bottom, and we'll fill that in nice and filled in, nice and neat. Okay, now we've got this kind of shininess, sort of shiny 3D ball, created by using lots of cross-hatched lines. Okay, let's try a different shape that has a curve to it. What about something like maybe a cone? Okay, so a cone, we're going to have something like this. 2 lines, and then we're going to have a curved base to it, like this, to create a 3D cone. So again, you might want to just trace over it with your pen. Don't forget, this will also have a shadow, but I'll show you that in a moment. Now for this curve will actually have more of it won't curve like this so much. This will have a curve that does have sort of a straight edge. So I'm just going to work out a middle line here, roughly. And now I'm going to build up to that line. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to start with I like to start with sort of the diagonal lines. Just creating some very light lines. Because we're going to build these up gradually. Okay, let's make these lines go from the other direction. And these should just slightly go over the first line. Okay, let's go this way this time. come this way. Sometimes it's easier to turn the page a little bit. I find it easier to turn the page, so I'm always working, I guess, towards myself. Okay, let's try some more lines. Let's go this way. Okay, and we should be starting to see this gradual build up now. Okay, now for a shadow of a cone, we're going to come from the base, come out to a point, and then bring that point to where this little corner meets. And it should come out like that, okay? Now, of course, we'll fill it in. This one comes to a point, where this one had a slightly curved end to it, this will have a point. Okay, fill it in nice and bold and neatly, remembering that this is a solid shape, so we need a nice solid shadow to go with it. Okay, let's do one more. And the last sort of curving shape is, I'm going to use a cylinder. You're probably wondering why I'm not doing a square or a cube, because a cube has flat surfaces, so we're trying to get that effect of light to dark on a curve. So I'm not going to do a cube, I'm just going to do a sphere, a cone, and a cylinder. Okay, to do a cylinder, we just need two sets of parallel lines. Okay, this will be a tall one. And then I'm just going to use two very thin oval shapes. Something like that. Okay, and of course I'm just going to ignore one of those shapes. Now one of those lines, because I'm going to make it a solid shape. So let's just get that. Right, I'm just going to trace over that, just so I know it looks right. So I'm going to put both this whole circle here so I can see the top of it, but I'll only put the bottom curve on here so that it is a solid shape and not see-through or transparent, like it was a glass jar or something. This will have a shadow too, actually. It might end up behind there. Okay, so once again, a little bit like the cone, this is going to have a shadow that runs through the middle, curves like this. Okay, the top of it will just stay, imagine the light's coming this way, so the top of it will stay white, it would be in full light, but this part is going to have a shadow to it. Again, I'm just starting diagonal and keeping it nice and straight down the middle. Now I'm going to work from the other side, building up those lines gradually. And of course I'm just using an ordinary pen, but you can of course do this with a pencil. It looks really cool. Fine liners are super cool, which is what I would normally use, but I'm going for a pen today. Okay, once you're happy with your kind of build-up, again, for the shadow on this one, it's going to come from the bottom of the curve. Now imagine when you had that first curve, it would come from the top of there. I'm going to cut this a bit short so I don't run into this. And then I'm just going to slightly curve the end of it. Actually, it would kind of just going to go behind there. But it would sort of just curve to a little point. Sometimes it's kind of cool when you're doing lots of shapes to put sort of shadows behind, and it gives it even a more 3D effect. Okay, let's fill this in. Okay, and there we go. We have like a 3D sphere, a cone, and a cylinder that looks three-dimensional with some simple shading from light, dark to light, with some shadows, and using a ballpoint pen and a cross-hatching technique to make some 3D shapes. Give it a go. It's really, really fun. I find it super relaxing to do this activity, and it looks really, really cool, and it's a great skill to have if you're wanting to become an artist. So give it a go, have fun, good luck, bye.